Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved but only outgrown. We don't so much solve our problems as we outgrow them. We add capacities and experiences that eventually make us bigger than the problems. We are not what happened to us, we are what we choose to become. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. For better to come, good must stand aside. Faith, hope, love, and insight are the highest achievements of human effort. They are found given by experience. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego, the second half is going inward and letting go of it. We no longer live on what we have, but on promises, no longer in the present day, but in the darkness of the future, which, we expect, will, at last, bring the proper sunrise. Thinking is difficult, that's why most people judge. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The healthy man does not torture others, generally it is the tortured who turn into torturers. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Somewhere, right at the bottom of one's own being, one generally does know where one should go and what one should do. But there are times when the clown we call I behaves in such a distracting fashion that the inner voice cannot make its presence felt. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. Deep down, below the surface of the average man's conscience, he hears a voice whispering, there is something not right, no matter how much his rightness is supported by public opinion or moral code. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. History is not contained in thick books but lives in our very blood. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views which others find inadmissible. What you resist, persists. Whatever is rejected from the self, appears in the world as an event. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. The best political, social, and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others. Be grateful for your difficulties and challenges, for they hold blessings. In fact, man needs difficulties, they are necessary for health, personal growth, individuation, and self-actualization. Relationships must be fostered as far as possible and maintained, and thus a morbid transference can be avoided. Great talents are the most lovely and often the most dangerous fruits on the tree of humanity. They hang upon the most slender twigs that are easily snapped off. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. The foundation of all mental illness is the unwillingness to experience legitimate suffering. We don't really heal anything, we simply let it go. An understanding heart is everything in a teacher, and cannot be esteemed highly enough. One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feeling. The curriculum is so much necessary raw material, but warmth is the vital element for the growing plant and for the soul of the child. Thanks for watching.